In this video, we'll be going through questions 16 through 19 in the SAT math section. Question 16, which expression is equivalent to 6x to the 8th y squared plus 12x squared y squared? The first thing I notice is this plus sign is separating these two terms. And I notice the four choices. I know it can't be A and it can't be B because we don't have that plus sign separating the number of terms. So we know it's either C or D. If we look at C and D carefully, the only difference is this x to the 6th versus x to the 4th. So if we think about working this problem backwards, if we take 6x to the 2nd, y to the 2nd, and multiply it by x to the 6th, the only thing that changes there is the exponent for the x variable. And you should know when you multiply variables, you add the exponents. So this one works because we need it to be x to the 8th because that's what they had in the original problem. Question 17. A neighborhood consists of a 2-hectare park and a 35-hectare residential area. The total number of trees in the neighborhood is 3,934. The equation 2x plus 35y equals 3934 represents this situation. Which of the following is the best interpretation of x in this context? So this one's a little tricky. 3934, of course, is the total number of trees. So then the next question, let's ask ourselves, what does 2x represent? Well, the 2 is coming from the fact that this park is a 2-hectare park. That's how large it is. So x is obviously 2x represents the total number of trees that are in that park. And I'm going to say that again. 2x represents the total number of trees in that park. They want us to interpret what does x represent. So 2x represents this giant area and tells us there's so many trees in this giant area. So that means x represents the average number of trees that are in this giant hectare in the park. 2x represents the total number of trees. X represents the average number of trees per hectare in the park. Question 18. The graph shows the relationship between the number of shares of stock from company A, X, and the number of shares of stock from company B, Y, that Simone can purchase. Which equation could represent this relationship? So the first thing that I notice is A and C, those are both slope-intercept form. But if you look at this line is from left to right is trending down. So that means this line has a negative slope. A and C have positive slopes. So it can't be A or C. So we've narrowed it down to at least to a 50-50 shot. From there, let's pick a well-defined point. 0, 40. This is the point. X equals 0, Y equals 40. So it should make the equation true. So let's check it. If we substitute 0 for X and 40 for Y in that equation, this does give us 480. 8 times 0 plus 12 times 40 is 480. But just to be sure, let's check this other one. Make sure it doesn't work. And we can see this other one, 12 times 0 plus 8 times 40. That is not equal to 480. If you do the math, that's equal to 320. So that doesn't work. So the answer choice has to be B. Circle A has a radius of 3n and circle B has a radius of 129n, where n is a positive constant. The area of circle B is how many times the area of circle A. So I find the easiest way to solve this problem when you're not in geometry class is let's make up a number for n. And they tell us n is a positive constant. So let's pick an easy number. Let's say n equals 1. So if n equals 1, that means the radius for circle A is just 3 times n, and 3 times n is just 3. And then the radius for circle B, obviously not drawn to scale, is much bigger. It's 129 times 1, which is 129. Now, what you might be tempted to do is take 129 and divide it by 3, but that would be comparing the radii of the two circles. They want us to compare the area of the two circles. So you should know the area formula for a circle is pi r squared. So for circle A, the area is going to be pi times 3 squared, or in other words, pi times 9. And the area for circle B is going to be pi times 129 squared, which I'm going to need a calculator for that. That is pi times 16641. And really we can drop the pi's and then just compare the constants, the 16641 and the 9. And if we take those two numbers and we divide them out in the calculator, you should see that you get 1849.